Hey guys, Dr. Vic here, and excited to have you on another episode on the Mindful Experiment podcast. We dive in deep today. I have a wonderful topic that I want to share with you that I've been inspired. I've had some of the listeners. Thank you for filling out the survey. I do look at the survey. If you haven't seen the survey, it's in the show notes. You get to dictate what topics we are going to discuss. If I can present it, I will. If I cannot, I'm going to find the people to share that topic and interview the best of the best that I can get my hands on to get some time here on the Mindful Experiment to share with us. So thank you for doing that. This is a topic I'll be bringing up in just a second. But before you do, for those who suffer from burnout, may it be entrepreneurial business, this is more related for business owners. I am doing a workshop next week, January 24th, if I'm not mistaken. The note information's in the show notes, but you can go ahead and register. It is a live workshop. I am offering some sweet bonuses for those who register. I only have space for 100 people, and the bonuses are for those 100 people. And the reason why we limit it that way is because what I've learned over time is that 100 people gives me enough time for answering Q&A at the end. So there's a benefit. You get 2 of them, bonus, plus as you join live, there's a Q&A session at the end that you can ask questions. And I open the door for about 10 to 15 minutes and to dive deep on the concepts and so much more. Burnout affects every fabric of our life. If you've heard me talk about this on the podcast multiple times, if you've been a long time listener, so it is something that really drastically plagues the business world, but it plagues every aspect of our life. And this is a topic that I know burnout far too well. Not proud to say I know it very, very well firsthand, but it's some things that I'll be sharing and how you can ward that off permanently and avoid it, like I have for the last 7 years, 6, 7 years. So that being said, check it out in the show notes. But the topic today, somebody was asking me about my process of effortless success and what I teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to be, to achieve that in their life. And I was thinking about it and I was like, well, I've done stuff about this before. I've been on podcasts. I've talked about this, but I was like, what can I present to you that's a little different? And there is something I've done similar to this, a podcast talking about how to be the lion. And today I saw something that inspired me, and the author unfortunately is unknown, so I can't give credit to who brought this up, but I'm going to paraphrase it anyhow. But it's understanding and allowing nature to teach us. Native Americans did this while they watched. That's why they looked at different animals and they appreciate the spirit of the animal, and they even tried to get the energy of the animal to take on the characteristics of what it does and so forth to help it elevate in one life. Like how to be a bear, studying a bear, feel the energy of the bear, be a hawk or be an eagle, right? Or be the wolf, and so much more. And these things took on different aspects. I mean, I've studied things in energy medicine that talked about our own spirit animals that we have with us. There's animals that give us, with their presence, with their spirit, has energy that we can take. Like a jaguar, right? Comes from a lot of power and things along that nature. And what's interesting is I love to learn in so many different ways. So that's why it's kind of the point I was trying to make out of that. But the thing is when we look at animals, right? And I've talked about this before. I've always talked about mindset. It's the biggest thing. And it determines the good from the great. And this story I'm about to share about a lion really reminds me of Michael Jordan in a lot of ways. I'm a big fan. I'm a little biased. I'm from Chicago. So yeah, he's the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. He's one of the top, probably most amazing athletes that ever have been in the era of sport. But it's all opinions. But at the end of the day, there's something that I've learned. I used to say this about Michael Jordan so much, and then I realized the lion is just like this. You see, when you look at the NBA and look at Michael Jordan, he was 6'6", maybe 180, 200 pounds. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the tallest. He was none of those things, okay? But at the same token, he was the best at what he did. When we look at the animal kingdom, the elephant's the biggest on land. It eats grass 24 hours a day, give or take. The giraffe is the tallest. The fox is the wisest. And the cheetah is the fastest. But who's the king of the jungle? Isn't that interesting? How, the strongest will survive. The fittest will survive. This will survive. But none of those things allow for someone to be king. King of the jungle is the lion. The king of the jungle, who reigns over all, is that. Now, some may say, well, how's that happen? Right? For me, I was like, how's that happen? How do I become a lion? I want to be a lion. Man, that's awesome. The lion walks with courage and confidence with its posture. It doesn't back down to no one. It stands up for its own truth. Now, whatever that truth may be, maybe it's survival, but any threat, it will challenge it no matter what. And it'll learn along the way. I said Michael Jordan, this reminds me a lot about Michael Jordan because I remember hearing him say, I don't want to have the greatest basketball players as teammates. I want to go against them, to learn from them, to defeat them, to beat them, to outperform them. That's what he was always all about. Love that mentality. And it's the same thing as a lion. Now, let's reference this to you in your life. Are you focused? How do you show up first? Right? Second's going to be, do you see yourself being the lion? Do you see yourself being the king or the queen of your own jungle? Because let's change the word jungle to world. It's all the same. And we are every day choosing if we are or we're not. What's the king and queen? The king and queen is how we choose to experience our world and experience it. It's us at the end of the day choosing in our power of who we really are and standing in our power and standing in our truth. Because when we stand in our truth, just like the lion does, we're the king or queen of the jungle. We're the king or queen of our world. By choosing, finding fulfillment through that. We choose an experience and we have it. That's fulfillment, in my opinion. And so when you look at your life, showing up in business, relationships, money, whatever that is, it's life in general, every fabric. How are you showing up? Because if you look at the lion is not the fastest, not the strongest, not the quickest, not the wisest, but it's because how it shows up every single day with its values, with its purpose, with its codes. As you guys know, if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, codes are a belief system. And it lives by that code, no matter what. And the beautiful thing about a code is you get to choose what your code is. You get to choose what you believe. You get to choose who you are. You have a choice every single day. And that lion, I guarantee, is choosing and knowing I am the king of the jungle. I am the king of this place. They're very territorial. They don't care what kind of threat comes. They will go after it and do what is necessary. Win, lose, or draw. How are we show up in our life doing the same thing? Going out and what we really want to experience, what we really choose to have, what really would light us up, and going after it. And who cares what the results are? To win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn in that experience. You won't have regrets from that process. That's a whole nother podcast episode right there alone. But I want to share something a little bit more about the lion. And this is something that got me into understanding how to achieve success effortlessly. It got me to understanding that hard work, grind, hustle, effort, sweat equity is not the answer. I'm not saying those things don't work, but it's not the answer. It's not the end all be all. I've worked over 100 entrepreneurs, right? Hundreds of entrepreneurs I served. Yeah, it's not thousands, it's not millions, it's hundreds. But one thing I learned, though, through that process is there's not an entrepreneur that I have not worked with that doesn't have any sort of hard work, effort, having what they want to achieve and what they want to go. There's not. I've never met one before that doesn't do that. I don't think they'll be an entrepreneur because there's a lot of, you have to do the work. You have to show up. You're going to know you have to do things in a specific shape, way, or form. But what I do know and what I have learned and what I have seen that makes the difference between a successful entrepreneur, and success is obviously an opinion, a definition of what each individual chooses that to be, but coming from that place and having that experience, there's a different way of doing things. Let's take it from a lion. As I said, an elephant eats around almost 24 hours a day of grass. It's a big elephant. It's got a lot of mass. It needs the food. But a lion, the elephant works all the time. But yet a lion works not much at all. 20 hours on average a lion sleeps per day. 20 hours. They can sometimes sleep up to 24 hours or just chill in their area for 24 hours. When the lion's hungry, look out. It's going to get its meal one way or another. It will find that gazelle because it doesn't have to go after the 100 of gazelles that are out there or the 50 or the 25. The lion knows it just has to get the slowest gazelle. Who's the victim going to be for today? To get its meal, to live to the next, and so forth. You see how this, when I'm sharing this, it is so backwards of what humans do. We think we have to work hard, grind, do all these different things. We're not satisfied with how much money we make. We don't know what satisfaction is when it comes to how much money we make in general. What's your number? How much are you okay with making? What do you want to make that you're going to be like, I would be fulfilled with that. I can live a very fulfilled life with this much money. What's that number? Because when I look at people in the business world, it's how much more can I make? What's the next level? What can I do to this? I hit 15 million. I want to go to 20. I hit 20. I did 30. Man, I thought I was making 50 million a year. Then I met a billionaire. I'm nowhere near where I need to be. Now, if it's your goal in life, in vision, to be a billionaire, then so be it. For me, yeah, it'd be great to be a billionaire for all the good I can do for the world, but I could do it also as a millionaire. I don't have to be a billionaire to do that. And so it's being crystal clear to where's your satisfaction. I'm not saying that's where your limit is and you're not going to grow past that. There's a difference between the two. And a lion knows that difference. A lion knows that once it's got its meal, it's good. It's good. Another day goes by. If it was a really big meal and it chowed up a lot of food, hey, it could probably go a day or two without food before it's ready to eat again. And that is the uniqueness and beauty of a lion that's different from many. So when you hear this lion stuff in motivation speaking that still goes on for years now, I've been hearing it. It's one of those things where what's really a lion? What are we looking at? Is it the courage? Is the energy? What's the presence of a lion? And I want you to remember this. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the quickest. You don't have to be the tallest, the biggest. You don't have to be any of those things to be the best, to be the king of your jungle, or be the king in your profession, be the queen in your profession, the queen in your jungle. You don't have to do any of those. It's finding what your greatness is within you because that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's what a lion knows. A lion does not think it could have been faster here, wish it was wiser here, wish it was this. It doesn't look outside itself and look at its flaws. It looks within and finds its strength, finds its unique power, its greatness. And when it finds that, it harnesses it on it. It feeds it. It lets it become bigger and bigger and bigger. And those strengths and those things that it has within allows it to thrive and flourish. Michael Jordan had certain strengths. And he created something called the fadeaway. That became one of the most iconic shots he's ever done, has. That led to many others starting to do that. But he started the way because he knew the fadeaway gave him an advantage. That was the greatness he had within. And he had an amazing leap. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he had a good leap. And sometimes I don't even know how he stayed up in the air with a jump right to the last second before his feet hit the ground. He would throw the ball up into the air, take that shot, and he would hit it. I was like, how did he hang so high up in the air? But he found and used what his strengths were within. That's what makes a lion or a lioness. That is the path that really opens you up to greatness and achieving unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities, infinite possibilities to choose whatever it is you want. Once you become aware of that, that's the key about being a lion or a lioness. And that's where working with someone like a coach who understands these principles can massively benefit you in your life, help you expand in so many different ways, especially in your business. I see so many business owners who try to do it on their own. And trust me, I was one of those. I mean, I always had a coach, but even then I still tried to do certain things on my own. And I had to realize that I had to trust my coach and trust the process more and let go of control. And when I did that, I saw massive changes start to happen in my life, and it taught me a lot of different things. And so the same principle comes to you, is that, if you're looking to expand, if you're in business, you're a business owner and you're looking to expand and evolve and get there faster and learn methodologies of how to do that and create that also at the same time. With all that being said, also discover the strength and greatness within you to work more, have success more effortlessly. Then let's set up a 30-minute call. Check out the notes in the show notes. It's on the bottom of it. It's called callwithdrvic.com. You go there, it'll set you up to schedule an appointment on my schedule, and we can have a conversation. For one, to just see where you're at, what's going on in your life with your business and so forth. And number two, is going to see if I even can help you. And if you qualify, if I can help you, basically that's what it is. I'm going to look and see if I can help you. And if I can, then I'll tell you that. And if I can, I'll tell you that too, and get you connected to who can. So I want to appreciate you taking your time. I know your time is very valuable, and I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. Please share with me. Let me know what you think. Please take a moment if you can. If you could just take a second, go on the show notes, hit the survey, put in whatever you're looking into so that we can start to develop content that's more specific to you, because I will be launching things and starting this process in March this year. So I'm hoping to have enough information by then to at least map out the rest of the year and even start the next year as more as you guys feed in and share this content. So thank you so much. And for those who wanted to learn more about working effortlessly, and I said I was going to use a little bit of a lion. I called it the effortless lion. And a lot of people like that one, so I went with it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I want to thank you for your time. Subscribe to the podcast. If you were inspired by this, please pay it forward by sharing at least one person. And if you like the podcast, please share a review. All these things help us and support us on our mission and our vision to really grow this podcast, to get it out to many people as possible. So thank you. Many blessings for me, and I'll see you guys and talk to you all next week.